So SAP kernel upgrade here. So in SAP, we have, so binaries are there. Normally, when we discussed about the SAP OS level file system, we have the exe directories. We have the exe directories here, right? We have the exe directories in SAP here, right? We have the exe directories. In 3 locations, the exe directories are available here. So what are those 3 locations? Anyone can jump in here. What are the 3 locations we have the exe directories are available? What are the three?
One is user SAP system instance number, and the work directory we will know in the work directory log files.
No, one is the USR, SAP, SID, sys, and exe. This is the global exe directory. The second one is the USR, then SAP, SID, D instance number, exe. This is the one location here. The third location is the USR, SAP, SID, then ASCS, then exe here. This is the third location of the. This is the third location of the, so our exe directory here, third location of the exe directories. So total 3 locations our executable files are there. Our executable files are there here. Executable files means kernel files. In SAP language we will call it as the kernel files. Our language we will call it as the executable files. Executable files, whenever you install the any operating system, normally you will get the program files. So program files and system32 Windows, these things you will get, right? So these are the OS level executable files. If you delete these files, SAP will be, sorry, your operating system will be crashed here. Same as like SAP yesterday also, and 2 days back also we have seen one of the file system is gone, then our SAP is unable to start it here. Same way here, you can see here. So we have the 3 locations here. Sys exe, these are the executable files here, executable files here. So these are the executable. Your SAP system is up and running. All these process are running, the dispatcher, IGS, ICMan, and SAP work process all are running fine, means because of in the back end you have the basement is there. Basement in the sense like your exe files are there here, exe files. So in the interview, they will ask you, so can you tell me the locations of the exe directory? Why? Because these are the base path. If you forget these paths, then that will be difficult to through the interview. Okay, you need to remember that. So these things also here, right? File system structure we discussed. So each and every point is important here, right? So that is the one thing here, right? Here, so in the SAP kernel means we have to update these binaries to the latest patch levels here. Latest patch levels, we have to update it here. So first of all, what is kernel here? So what is kernel? What is SAP kernel here? So kernel, we know location of the kernels. These are the locations here. So what is the importance means? These are the OS level files are there. If the SAP is up and running means because of the this kernel files, this library files, this DLL files. But first of all, what is the kernel here? Kernel is a set of core programs here, set of the core programs that provide the basic functionality of the all SAP applications. It is the foundation for the SAP applications. It is a foundation for the all SAP applications here. Foundation for the all the applications here. It is the foundation for the all applications here, right? So foundation for the all applications here, right? So this is the one here, kernel. Kernel is a core component of the SAP system. Core means it's a main. Core means main. What is the core component in our body? Anybody can tell us? Tell me. What is the core component in our body?
Brain.
Brain. Okay. So what happens if the core component is not updating? So it's not functioning fine. What will happen? So right, so there is a difficulties, right? So so that is the fine. So that is the very difficult here. So same as like here, SAP also there is a core component is the kernel here. Kernel is the core component of SAP applications. Core component of SAP applications here. SAP applications here. Core component of SAP application. It manages the communication between the application and operating system. That's why maybe what is the relations are? You told that SAP is the application. When you log in from the browser, we will open the application. But kernel are the OS level binaries. What is the relation between here? So here it manages the communication between the application and operating system. We need the SAP kernel. SAP kernel is the core component of the SAP application, and it manages the communication between the SAP application. Means SAP application always pointing to the this exe directories only. Communication between system resources, CPU, memory, everything here. So it's a executable program between the between the communicating between the SAP applications and operating system here, right? So it is the latest version of the release is the 754. So kernel also we have the versions here. Kernel also we have the versions here. So how to check this kernel version before we go for the kernel upgrade? So first step is the we need to check the we have to update the kernels also. OS level files we have to update it here. We have to update the OS level files here. So what we have to do here? What we have to do it here to update the kernels here. So first of all, so we have to check the current version of the kernel. First of all, we should know, right, what is the current version of the kernel. Then only we can know whether we can update it or not here. First of all, we have to check the current version of the kernel using the in SM51. We can the release note, we can use it, or in the so displace work command we can use it here. So displace work command we can use it here. Displace work command we can use it here to get the release notes here, right? We can get the displace work. Okay, we can use the command voice level command to get the kernel version here. So then let's check the kernel version here, right? OS level also we can check it out. SAP level also we can check the kernel versions here. So log into the one of the system here, development system. So basis user, okay? So then here you can go to the SM51 transaction code, then go to the release notes here. Here you can see the kernel version is the 753 kernel, right? The patch number is the 1200, 753 and 1200, right? Kernel we have the 753, 1200 here, right? So this is the version here. Always in the market, every 3 months, there is a we have to update the our kernel patch levels to the highest level, latest level. We have to update it here. The latest levels we have to update our kernels here. Latest levels we have to update the our kernels here, right? So that is the one thing of the current version of the kernel here. Then as a to perform this activity, kernel upgrade activity, so first of all we need to check the current version of the kernel here. Then once you check the current version, then download the latest version of the kernel files, kernel from service marketplace. So we have to download the latest version of the kernel from the service marketplace here. So go to the SAP marketplace here, check what is the latest version which is available in the marketplace here. Okay, so let me take the yes user ID. Just give me a minute. Then here, so we can check the, so we can log into the service marketplace with S user ID, one S user ID. Then you can see you will get the same way how we downloaded the kernel file softwares, how we are downloading. Same way, kernel also we have to download from the service marketplace here. Go to the support pack and patches here by alphabetical index. K for kernel, right? K for kernel, you can choose it here, right? So then go to the 64-bit Unicode. So then, so we have the versions in the kernel also here. We have the 753 kernel release and patch level is the 200. 753 and 1200 is the patch level. 753 and 1200 is the patch level here. So now we want to go for the 753 we have, 754 we have, 777 we have, 785, 789, 793 we have here, right? So we are in the 753 here. So directly we can upgrade from 753 to 754. Means the release version, release upgrade. So when you update from 753 to 754, that is called the kernel release upgrade. Only kernel patch upgrade means within the 753 you are updating from 1200 to 1300. That is called the kernel patch update. Kernel patch update, we have to do that one, right? Kernel patch update. That is the difference between the kernel release upgrade, kernel patch upgrade. So you are upgrading your kernel from 753 to 754. That is called the release. No. Within the 753, the patch level is 1200, then subversion. So patch level means subversion. Then 753 to then 1300 or 1400, whatever is there, then that is called the patch level 1300 or 1400. That is called the kernel patch level you are updating. So this is the kernel patch update, kernel release update. Okay, you got the difference, right? That is the one. So now let's check within the 753, is there any latest version here? Go to the here Windows 753. So kernel, check the SAP kernel. SAP kernel means there are the two main files here. SAP kernel means kernel files means they are the two main files, SAP exe, then SAP exe DB here. One is the DB independent file. The second one is the DB dependent file here. DB independent file and second one is the DB dependent file here, right? So one is the SAP exe and SAP exe DB here. DB dependent, DB independent, DB dependent files here. So SAP exe 1200 is there, right? Then we don't have any higher version here. Then due to the DB dependent here, is there any okay? We have also 1200 is there. So there is no major update after the 1200 here. Let's go to the 754 here, right? 754 we have the 200 patch level is there in 754. So directly you can just download the 200 patch level. Latest version we have to always download from the service marketplace here. Same way, so we have to download the DB independent file, means SAP exe file also we have to download same way. SAP exe, same file we have to download it here. So two files we have to download from the service marketplace. One is the SAP exe DB. What are the kernel files means? SAP exe DB are the kernel files which we have to download from the service marketplace. So one thumb rule, one important thing is when updating your kernel version from one to another, your SAP has to be stopped. So, and also we need to check, depends upon the your release, depends upon your kernel version, whether your SAP system will support or not. There is a dependency. Kernel always depend on your SAP system here. So which means, so you are downloading the 754, your kernel version is the 750, whether it will support or not, we need to check. So SAP versions always matters on the kernels here. For that one, you need to always go to the release node. Check the content information here. Go to the SAP release node. Check whether it will support to the our SAP versions or not here. Always blindly we cannot download, update the kernel versions here. We need to check the our SAP version. Our SAP version will support to the this kernel or not. By seeing this table, we will come to know. Ours is the 750. SAP basis version is the 750. So definitely the kernel version it will support it here. So here you will come to know what are the issues and everything is fixed in the latest kernels here. You will come to know all the information and everything here, right? So these are the things we can check it out, mandatory thing here, right? So always check the kernel release node before we upgrade the kernels here. Then download the latest version of the kernel. Then extract it using the extract the kernel files and keep it ready. Extract it, keep it ready. Then stop the SAP application. Take the downtime, stop the SAP applications. We need to stop the SAP applications for kernel upgrade. Kernel upgrade is the downtime activity. You have to stop the SAP application. Then replace the new kernel which you downloaded, right? Point number 3, new kernel. Point number 3, replace the new kernel. Point 3, and replace the new kernel into existing exe directories. Copy and paste. Okay, directory. Then so if it is the Linux, if it's the Linux system, then we need to execute the if it is a Linux system, only one difference is we need to execute the SAP root.sh script. We have to execute to set the permissions and correctly set the groups and everything. We have to execute this one, right? Then start the SAP. Then perform the checks. Perform the health checks here. Perform the health checks here. So these are the steps we have to follow to perform the kernel upgrade here. All right. So here we have downloaded the files. That is fine. Then we need to extract it here. Right. Select it, take it, then go to the any one of the drive, SAP softwares, then create the kernel, something like that, kernel 754. Then we need to extract it first of all, right? So go to the SAP software. There is a SAP car file is there, SAP car. Using the SAP car, so we have to extract it here. Right? So go to the command prompt, SAP car -xvf SAP exe underscore star dot SAR. Which file we have to extract first? So first SAP exe, then the next one is the SAP exe DB. We have to extract it, right? SAP exe DB. We have to extract it. So order of the extracting the files is exe, then exedb. We have to extract it here. Here all the files are getting extracted. So kernel means OS level files. So these files, new files are available. We have to download those files. Those files means SAP exe, SAP exedb. We have to extract it. Then we have to replace it on the your existing exe directories. Right? So then SAP exe DB here, SAP exe DB here. Then DB also getting extracted. So then once the extraction is done, keep it ready for the downtime. Then stop the SAP application. So here for production systems, we have to do it in the outside of the working hours. For non-production hours, we can do it in the during the business hours if the business informs. So I'm stopping the SAP application here. I'm stopping the SAP application. Why? Because while SAP is on, we cannot do the kernel upgrade. Why means, as I mentioned, kernel files are the communication between the SAP and OS operating system here. So that's why we need to stop the application. We need to stop the application done, right? We have stopped it here. So then what we have to do it here, once we done it here, then we have to replace the files here. We have to replace. So maybe I will stop the services also here, Windows, right? We need to stop the services also here, right? So it's done. Then what next here? So we have to new kernel files copy, then copy the, so next step is, what is the next step here? Replace the new kernel files into the existing exe directory. What is the existing exe directory? So this is the sys exe directory, is the global directory. These two are the local directories. Why we have to replace it on the, not three directories are not required. Just one directory you have to replace it. That is called the sys exe. You have to replace it here. Go to the USR, SAP, SID, sys, and exe. Exe, just here replace the all the kernel files here.
Sir, no need of taking back up the old kernel files
We can
because
take
in
it
case
out.
of any
Yeah,
error.
we can take it out. So, or we can also roll back. If we easily, we can downgrade it also. Yeah. So, yeah, better we have to take the backup of the old kernels also here. Old kernels backup means what we have to do? Just this folder, exe folder is there. Copy and paste on the some other directory here, either downloads or some other directory. So, in case of existing is creating the problem, then we can replace it easily. So we can add the one more step like here, stop the SAP applications from the kernel upgrade, then or before that also take the backup of so existing exe directories. That is also one good thing here. In case of any issues after the kernel upgrade, SAP it won't start. So we have to roll back easily. So now I have replaced it here, right? I have replaced it here. All the kernel files have replaced it. Date also changed here. So now what we have to do? We need to start the services here. Then start the SAP application. Start the SAP application here, right? So we can start the SAP application here. So once you done it, sometimes SAP it won't start because of if you do the wrongly or something got missed. So we may face issues here. So here what we can do, just to start the SAP application here. So ASCS is started. Then SAP also getting started. Let's see the work process also getting started. You can see the work process whenever it is starting, it always looks the profile directory, right? As I mentioned. Then it will check the kernels and everything here, kernels and kernel binaries and everything, exe, library for exe, all those things it will check it out. Sir, we replaced the kernels only on the sys exe directory. We have not replaced on the local exe directories. Then how it will be sync here? So there is a SAP CPE utility program, SAP CPE utility program, this program which will copy the binaries from global exe to global exe to local exe directories. Remember this point. So they will ask you So you are replacing kernel on the global exe directory, but wow, is not, is it required to place it on the local exe directory? Is not required here. Here, the CPE utility program will copy the binaries from the global to local here, right? So that is what it will happen here. Now system started fully here. Now let's log into the development system, right? So then what we can do here, go to the, so SM51, go to the transaction code, check the release notes here, right? So yes, so I think it's still 753. So something wrong here. Something wrong. Where we replaced it? Something wrong. Just give me a minute. Let me stop it again. So ECD, yes, yes, sys exe, we have to stop it here. So let me go to here, kernel, copy all, somewhere I have replaced it here. Copy it here. Sometimes, so this type of issues we may face it here, which means, so here we need to replace it on the all the exe directories in this case. Sysexe, then instance exe, we have to replace it. Sysexe, then instance exe also we have to replace it on. Still it is showing the old one. So sometimes the SAP CPUTD program mainly for the Windows systems, Windows based systems, because of the environmental label issue, the files will not be copied from the global to exe. Sometimes Linux systems it will copy. Windows system sometimes it won't work. That time we have to manually copy the new kernel files and then the global and the local also we have to copy it here. Same as like how we are doing. Same way we have to copy the new kernel files into the all the folders here. All the folders we have to copy it here. So
Sir,
same.
one small doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, in Linux terms of when speaking, if you have multiple instances, apart from central, and you have three dialog instances, I want the kernel to be updated in all the instances. So for
CCXE
that,
is
any
enough.
command is
Yeah, CCXE only. If you replace it on the CCXE, automatically
okay.
how many instances are this? Not a problem. It's not a matter. But only the SAP CPUTD program will copy to the all the application servers, all the it will automatically it will copy it here. You don't need to manually copy it. So the main thing is we have to replace it on the sysexe only. Under the sysexe
Okay.
only we have to replace it. Automatically it will copy. So in rare cases, suppose like now it's example. In rare cases we may face the issues like, so it won't sync the binaries here. Global we have placed the files. Global we have placed the files here. Global directory we have placed the files, but the local d instance number exe is not synced. That's why it's still showing the old version here, right? So that is the reason it will show like this here. So in that case, manually we have to do that one. Manually, whatever we have done it now, same manually we have to do it from the SAP system. Again, we have to do the work.
Then in ACS also we have to do it, I think so, sir. We have done it
Right.
means.
Yeah, VSCS also I have copied.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
So yeah, this is not getting started. Let me see what's happening here. Sometimes it will start automatically. Here it's starting and stop, running, stopping. So something is happening now. So, okay, 30, 31. Okay, okay, yes, yes, right? Yes, 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 EXE, AXS, ESC directory. I think I the local. So we have. Let me then ECD ADM. Let me add ECD ADM with the full control. Then CP users. Actually, I removed the some permissions actually. Some SAP service ECD here. Then let me set the permissions here. Just setting the permissions because these are the OS level users. So I am setting the permissions here. Let's see. So then, so let me start it again. No, it's not starting. See. So now kernel upgrade something we did. So it's not getting started. Some error. Let me open what is the error. Not this one. Open the services. Let me start it. Let me go to event viewer. Yeah, main thing is event viewer. Event viewer will help. So what's happening with the system? We can go to the event viewer at operating system level in case of any kernel issues. Now we got the kernel issue. So which means service is not getting started. Service is not getting started here. So this is the one, 31 service here, right? So ASS, SYS, EXE, this is the one, it is not getting started here. Something like SAP start SRV process is not getting stopped here. So let me check here after stopping, is there any SAP start SRV service here? Yes, we have SAP start SRV service here. So let's check the username with ECD ADM or SAP services SID here. Yes, we have one SAP services SID here. TCP. So there is a one process here. ECD. Yes. ECD. Yes. Two SAP start SRV process are there. Let me kill those process here. Okay. I stopped it. So what I can do here again. So that's why we have to properly stop the SAP system. Let's check. So you clearly stopped the SAP system. So then let me do the kernel upgrade, and sometimes we may have to do the OS restart as well. So we may have to do the OS restart as well. So because kernel upgrade is giving the problem now. So ASS EXE, let's do the ASS EXE as well one time in all the systems, both the side. So properly one by one, slowly we have to perform. So seems like small steps here, but see the troubles, how the issues we are getting here. These issues are very important here. Tomorrow they will ask you Sometimes what are the issues you faced? Can you explain? So what is the procedure means? It's a simple, very simple procedure. Check the latest version, download the latest kernel from the service marketplace, then extract it, stop the SAP system, take the backup, then replace the new kernel files into the existing exe directory, then start the SAP. So this is the one thing. So SAP, it won't start sometimes, right? So SAP, it won't start. So in this case, what we have to do, so we have to, so maybe better to restart the application once. So we have to restart the, once we have to restart the OS here. Let's see here, after the OS restart, sometimes it may start it here. So let's see here. So steps are very small and easily. Download the latest exe files. What are the exe files? SAP exe, SAP exe DB here. What is the program? These are the questions they may ask you during the kernel upgrade. Where are the exe locations? What is the global exe path? Then what are the kernel files you will download? What is the program, utility program, which will copy the binaries from the global to local? So here, did you face any issues during the kernel upgrade? Yes. What are the issues? After the kernel upgrade, SAP is not starting up. What could be the reason? Maybe permission. So I have restarted the services. Okay. System, I have restarted here. So you can see that I have restarted the system. So then here it is getting started. So let's see here. Let me start. Meanwhile, our ECP and ECP services, it is getting started. What about the meanwhile? Let me check. We have the profiles, profile directory. ESR, SAP, SID, sys profile is there. Sys profile and sysexe. Okay, fine. Okay, this both are running here. So let's wait this to be started automatically. So this will start slowly. Let's wait for that one. So this is starting. Then this is also getting started. Oh, this is getting stopped. So this is getting stopped. So our kernel is getting stopped here. See here, SAP 31. So some issues. Some issue with the kernel, or the way which we have done it, that is wrong here. So wrong means something you wrongly replaced something here. So what I can do, I am going to roll back the kernel. I'm going to roll back the kernel. The procedure is common. The rollback in the kernel also is the same. It's common here. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to roll back the kernel here. Roll back the kernel means, so we have the exe, right? So sys exe. So let's see here what's happening here. ECD sys exe. So ECD sys exe. Sys exe direct files are there here. Ah, my God, I got it. I did the wrong mistake here. I did the wrong, so which created the nuisance here. So normally this exe, then I have to replace the kernel under the UC NTADM. Here I have to replace it. Here I have to replace it. That is the mistake. I have done it now, not from there. So here I have to replace the kernels here. In this location, I have to replace the location. So you can see here, so that is the my mistake here. So while copy pasting, so we got the error. See here, we have the, it's a mistake, my mistake only. So we have done the wrong here. So I have to replace the kernel under the sysexe here. Sysexe, I have to replace sysexe NTADM there, I have to replace it here. So in middle of the folder, I have replaced, middle of the folder, I have replaced it here. So what I did it previously, I went to the here, USR, SAP, right? So SID, then sys, exe, UC, NTADM64. Here I have to replace it. Here I have to replace it here. So not the like here in the before the folder itself here. That is the mistake. I have done it here. Now let's see here. So we did contra. Steps are correctly only the wrong is which I have copy pasted the wrong here. Right? So replace the new kernel files into the exe directory. So new exe directory, we have to replace it here. So this is the mistake, silly mistakes we do in our in the real landscape also here. So we have to replace it on the sysexe and UC means Unicode NTADM64. Under this folder we have to replace it in all the kernel files here. So once the replacement is done, let's see. Yes, so it is done now, right? So now let's start the services here. Right? See here, now it is not getting stopped. It's not getting stopped. So which means, so it's correct. So we did the wrong one. What is the wrong? So wrong place, we have replaced with the kernel files here. Okay, that is the one of the lesser learning here. So just start the kernels. So SAP is getting started. Now it will work. You got it right? What are the mistake we have done it? So that is the mistake here. So slowly we have to perform the kernel upgrade. So right place, we have to place the kernel upgrade. Now start the SAP, then check the health checks and everything. We have to perform it. The production opened, development is taking time. Production fully development still kernel upgrade done right, latest version. So it's giving the some late here. Then just to open the login to the system. Now see, after the kernel upgrade, all the new programs and everything is getting compiled. So it's getting compiled while initial logging here. So because kernel are the communication between the programs, so between our operating system and SAP application here. So SAP started successfully. So but you can see while logging, we have the compiling of the some of the tasks and programs. So if it is continuing the same, we need to run the sgen then. We have to run the sgen. So if the programs are compiling after the post installation step, how we have run the sgen, same way we have to run the sgen here. Okay, go to the SM51. So it is the slowness. So not the slowness. The programs new kernel path we have placed it right. So it's giving the some kind of compiling. Binaries are getting compiled here. So If it is continuing all the transaction code, what we have to do, we need to run the sgen. Sgen we have to schedule it here. We know, right? After the installation, how we have executed the sgen, same way we have to run the sgen here. Go to the release note. Oh my God. Previously, we have the 753 and 1200. Now, so we have the 754 and 200 should come. Right? 754, 200. So the latest patch levels here. We have updated to the latest patch level 754 and 200. From 753 to kernel release and patch level also changed here. Right? 753 to 54, 1200 to 200, the patch level also changed here. Right? This is the so kernel upgrade procedure here. Okay, don't make silly mistakes. So these are the small mistakes we may face it here.